Are we on?
Yeah, we're on. It is a windy, airish day in the mountains of southern Appalachia. You can just hear the wind up there howling on the ridge.
Is this the first time you ever heard wind?
No, but I do hear it, don't you?
Yeah.
Leaves are falling. We're forecasted, I don't know if it'll happen, if this wind don't stop it won't happen, but we're forecasted to have our first frost tonight. There's been spotty frost in our area. One of our friends over Moccasin Creek seen frost across the way on a roof near him, but we've not had any right here, really, have we?
No, not that I'm aware of.
So, it's supposed to be the first night, big frost tonight. We've still not got our sweet potatoes, so we're going to work on that today. I hope there's some to get. You think there is?
We'll just have to dig in there and find out. I think there should be.
Hopefully. Last year they produced wonderfully.
If not, this will be a short video.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, be short and sweet. We'll see if there's no potatoes. Granny is really hoping there's potatoes. She made me stop one day this week. I had to take her to some doctor's appointments. We stopped at the produce stand in Peachtree. We thought they were still open. They're not. But they still had their pumpkins outside, and she wanted to see if they had any white sweet potatoes. So I said, well, they're closed. Well, I mean, it's obvious once we pulled up to the front, but I said, don't worry, me and Matt's got some if we made some. So this morning she told me, I was helping her a little while ago, and she said, now you run on. You and Matt need to dig those potatoes.
Yeah.
So she's wanting some white sweet potatoes. So hopefully we've got some.
Yep.
So we've got 2 beds of sweet potatoes. We're going to start with the one that's completely, you can't even see the bed, can you? But there is a bed up there. We're going to start with the one that's been taken over by weeds. I brought some clippers. I'll come up there and help you.
We're going to pull these vines. Sweet potatoes on top of the dirt. Saving on little ones like that.
Oh, wow. That looks good so far. Here's a bucket. Let's see. I have to start a bucket. You know, that white one that just takes over everywhere.
I hate to run this shovel down in there and just cut them things.
Well, you want me to use my gloves and go down in there and look?
Can't really use the shovel good because it's like a lumber yard down in here.
Yeah.
But I'm about gonna have to. It's so tight in there.
I'm being attacked by them. The wind's against me.
We're gonna have to call that helicopter saw back.
Oh. Whoops, I got potatoes.
I was in the process of digging that.
Sorry.
Awful big in there, man. We got to get to that you?
Maybe.
Huh?
But it may be. Well, not what we'd hoped for this one. There is some pretty good size one, but there's a lot of little skinny ones too. Maybe the other bed will be better.
You can make sweet tater pie out of them little
Well,
ones.
yeah, or you could just, what I like to do is just chop them up, wash them, and then chop them up and roast them and eat them that way. We'll eat them. But, see, some of them, there's some pretty big ones on down in there. But lots of little bitty ones, too. Almost like they just hadn't finished developing, you know? What do you think? See how green the stuff still was, but
We planted things in June.
I know we planted them in June, but then think about our other potatoes. We planted them like in March. So anyway, let's go check the other bed and see how it is. Well,
This bed here is going to be massive.
on
I'm
to
looking forward. I'm being optimistic.
Matt's being optimistic, says this is going to be better. One thing it's going to be better is there's not as many briars. Matt was calling them, what did you call them?
Blars.
Blars.
I used to hunt the fella, called it a blar patch.
Blar patch. Well, we don't have to fight the blars. Oh, you need a bucket. So this is the bed that had the watermelon volunteer in it.
This one's got taters all in it.
Ooh, those look nice.
I don't know why they look like that.
I think something's been eaten on them.
But down in the ground?
It's what it looks like.
What would that have been?
It looks like it's the
Yeah, there's some big ones.
Ooh, those are the big daddies.
Put my glasses on, I thought that was a sweet tater pie.
So this bed has proven to be much, much better. Bigger potatoes and more of them, although some of them have some bug damage on them. It's like underground bugs. It's not where something's been eating them on top of the ground. Mostly what it looks like is maybe a mole or it's kind of like, what do you call it, like teeth marks.
Looks like your cat's laying down on the job.
Yeah, he needs to get on the mole patrol, but he ain't my cat either.
He is in your house, ain't he?
He's in my basement.
Pretty much your cat.
No. There's some nice ones. So definitely more than the first bed. Of course, it's a bigger bed too, so I don't know, maybe about the same when you think about that. Bigger potatoes though. Some of them had the damage on them, like a mole or something, vole had been eating on them. And then some of them are small. Got several big ones though in this bed. Well, you think we ought to brave and get the other arse taters out of the bags back there while we're doing it?
Yes, get them.
So we dug most of our arse taters earlier this year when it was so rainy. We kept hearing people say that their potatoes were rotting, as we would say, in the ground. And so we went ahead and dug them out of the big garden. We had a really good harvest, didn't we, Matt? Mm-hmm. And we're almost to the end of them. We've been eating on them. We canned some, put some in jars, but mostly we've just been eating them. And we've been going through them pretty quick, though. Usually, we've just been planting for many years potatoes up here. So I guess last year we planted potatoes in a big garden. Mm-hmm. But this year we planted 2 big long rows, and they really did good. A lot of these potatoes have, I think these in the very front, we grabbled some out of these to eat during the summer, didn't we? Just to have for new potatoes.
I think we got to worry about copperheads today.
No. I think the chance for copperheads over till next year. This bag Matt was digging in, he seen the woolly worm back there. See it? Pretty much looks like it's solid black, don't you think, Matt? Mm-hmm. Granny always tells the story that she seen a black woolly worm the summer before the blizzard of, when was that, Matt, 93? Mm-hmm. Of course, there's all kinds of sayings about woolly worms, and I've found that in certain places, what means one thing, it means something else in another place. So you'll have to tell us what it means where you're from. So we ended up with a bucket full. Matt said felt like about 12 pounds, 10 pounds, something like that. Some pretty potatoes.
Yeah.
So these are the beautiful begonias that I wanted to try to take some in the house. My problem is I don't get any sunshine, and I don't have much space like to put something. Like if I had a expansive window with lots of sunshine coming in it, I'd just cut everything I had and take cuttings in, but that's not gonna work. I don't have the room nor the sunshine. So I think I'll just cut 1 or 2 and see what happens. And if it don't work, I'll just throw them away, I guess. But if it does work, I'd have begonias for next year. Maybe there would be one, and that one. And I guess I'm gonna have to like take these parts off just to put it in some water. A glass of water. I've got to think about where I could put it though in the kitchen. Really, my kitchen is the only 2 windows in the house, is the kitchen windows that gets sunshine. Now there's one in the living room, but there's a couch in front of it, so that's not an option. And then the rest of the house, there's really no sun that comes in. It's just the nature of living on the north side of the mountain. So that's like 4. See, you think about next year though, you're like, well, I'd want like 8 begonias. I can't do that many. But there's 5. Then I have these begonias over here. They're kind of already looking pitiful, but I don't think I'm gonna try to do it with any of them. Then I have the beautiful coleus. Look at it though, it's kind of dying out too. Someone told me I could do the same thing with it, but again, I just have limited space. So maybe I'll just try it with the begonias this year and see what happens.
What year is this one?
2025. Circa September, October, something.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, we moved to the greenhouse since it was so windy outside. it's chilly, but I got warmed up while we were doing all that.
Yeah.
Now that we sit down, I'll get cold again, but
We'll talk fast.
at least we got the sweet potatoes. That was worrying me.
We're going to do them.
I think there's not many. I mean, we'll eat through them pretty quick. You mean as far as curing them and stuff like that? Yeah. I don't think we'll have to do anything to them. We'll eat through them by the time we share with Granny pretty quick.
Give her a bunch of them.
But talking about that, if you did grow a massive amount, you would need to worry about that. Justin Metcalf has a video, I'll link to it, where he has dug, I mean, he's planted a lot of sweet potatoes, so he's got a lot, and he talks about curing them. And he's also got I don't remember if that's the same video or not, maybe, but it might not be. You can look for it though on his channel, where he actually grows his own slips. Like me and Matt ordered ours from online, I think maybe the Southern Exposure, one of those places. Bonita is the kind that we grew, Bonita. Anyway, Justin's got a great video where he shows how he's curing his out, and how, you know, how he keeps track of them and all that kind of stuff, and how he grows them. And so yeah, I'll link to that in the description below. You can go watch it. So he's much more knowledgeable than me and Matt. This is only the second year we've grew sweet potatoes. We grew them one time years and years and years ago, and that was only because my Uncle Henry brought me 2 or 3 slips up here, and that was just the orange variety. But last year, for the first time, we grew the white ones and did really good. And enjoyed them. Again, we didn't grow enough that we had to really worry about curing them. We just eat them. So we wanted to do it again this year. We planted 2 beds instead of 1. I don't think they done as good as they did last year.
No, they didn't.
Could be that it's a different kind of year growing we had. We had a really wet year. Could be that. Could be numerous different things. Who knows? As far as how we did them exactly like we did this year. Plant them and forgot about them. That's one of the easiest things, I think, when you're growing things, some of the easiest things to grow. Now, I'm not, again, we've only grew sweet potatoes for 2 years, so I can't say we know much about that. But potatoes in general, like the arse taters, and that's just a white potato, they are just so easy to grow because you just plant them and then forget about them if you do them in the grow bags like that. And you could do that in your garden too. A lot of times though, like the ones we planted in the big garden, people will hill them, and the thought behind that is that you'll have more room for more potatoes to grow. But even that is not much work, depending. I mean, it is if you're doing it with a hoe, I guess, if you've got a long row. But I still, don't you think though, they're one of the easiest things to grow?
Yeah, once you get them planted and once you hill them, and then you just, I mean, you can go back and side dress them a little bit with some fertilizer time or 2 during the year if you want to, but you can just kind of forget about those and worry about the other stuff that you got to have. It takes a little more maintenance, in other words.
Now those we grew in the grow bags, we just plant them and forget about them.
Right.
We don't weed them, we don't fertilize them, we don't hill them, we don't do nothing. And they produce, you know, you've seen what they produced. Yep. Maybe there was one more bag that we'd already eat, and we just eat them like fresh potatoes, new potatoes. They're so good. But anyway, I do think they're some of the easiest ones to grow, easiest things to grow. Now, they have to be cured too, though, if you grow a whole lot of them. And this was the first year that me and Matt really grew enough to think about that. Usually, we're growing in these grow bags. Again, we're going to eat them pretty quick. They don't even last till Christmas. You know, they'll be gone. But this time we've had more, and what we did worked. We spread them out, some on the porch, and we'd done that before, like let them sit out there. That's usually where we would store them, like these sweet potatoes. I probably store them on the porch, unless it was going to get really cold, like, you know, down in the 20s or something like that. But a frost or something, since the porch is covered, they'd be okay. And you can lay something on top of them too. But anyway, that's what we would usually do, and then bring them in if it was going to be down in the, like 25 or something, because then they would freeze, you know, and then they'd ruin. But a frost, like down in the low 30s, they'd probably be fine since they're covered on the porch. Anyway, what we did this time was we put some on the porch, and then we put them in the basement. We put out a sheet, and we spread them out on a big sheet down there, and left them for what? A month. And some of it we eat some, and we canned some off that, all those, and it was a big old area, you know, it was a big sheet, and a full-size sheet, I guess, maybe even a queen size. anyway, and then after that, we picked them up, the ones that was left, and put them in different various baskets and containers, and then we've just been getting out of those as we take them upstairs to eat, you know. And they've done good. That worked good for us.
We'll do that again next year. I mean, plant that many again.
Yeah. And we dug ours earlier than normal. Like you see here, we're digging the ones in the grow bags, and it's pretty much November already, almost. And normally that's what we would do, even with those in the big garden, but it was so wet, and then we started hearing local people tell us that their potatoes was rotting. So we was like, well, we don't want them to rot. Maybe we should just get them out. So we did, and it's been okay. They've been okay.
It's been just fine.
Yeah, we were worried about it a little bit, but it's been fine. That's another thing I think that's the ease of potatoes is like you plant them maybe in March or whatever. Try to, like maybe in March. And then, you know, it's all those months later in the fall of the year that you worry about them. Now this year we worried about ours earlier because of the rain, but that's another thing, kind of out of sight, out of mind. Unless you want to go out there and what we say is gravel out some, like get some little new ones out to eat. But if you grow lots of potatoes, sweet potatoes or orange taters, you got to figure out how to keep them from spoiling. One of our dear friends told me one time that he grew some, and one of the first times he grew them. Now he'd grown up with a family that grew stuff, but it's different when you're doing it yourself. You're like, how did Mom and Daddy do that? You know. Anyway, but he said he took them outside and got the water hose and sprayed them off with water, and then he left them out in the sunshine, and they just basically cooked, you know, and just ruined them. And but there's all kinds of videos on YouTube or blog posts or gardening books that can tell you like best advice for storing your potatoes. And no, you shouldn't wash them. That's one thing. And you shouldn't put them out in the sunshine like that, especially after you washed them. That was Ken Roper that told me that. Yeah, told me one time he did that. Anyway, in the old days they had. You remember up at the lake, there was one of those outbuildings. Kenneth one time told me, he took me around and showed me all the buildings and showed me what used to be where. And one of the buildings that was still there, of course they were just using it for storage, but he said that was a sweet potato barn,
Sweet potato
house, whatever. And that's where used to, in the old days, local people would bring their potatoes to there and they would store them. And they would cure in there before they took them back home. So I'm not sure how the setup was, how it, you know, if it was just because it was enclosed or if they done something to circulate the air. Of course, it would have been prior to electricity, so it wouldn't have been nothing to do with electricity, or I don't know. I don't know about that part. Some of you probably do, though. You could tell us. I love potatoes, though.
Me too.
I like the orange kind. I like the sweet kind. I really love those white sweet potatoes the best, though. I think they're better. And if you've never had one, I think they have a sweet taste, but they're not as sweet as the like orange varieties, I don't think. And they're good. I'm not against them. I just like the white ones. They have a deeper flavor. I don't know. What do you think? How you describe them?
Yeah, they're a little bit more. I mean, they don't have the sweetness that overwhelms the potato taste like the orange ones do.
Yeah.
I mean, they taste more earthy.
Yeah.
But they're sweet enough, you know. But yeah, they're very good.
Some of those orange taters that we dug, though, I'll take those to Granny too. You know, she's not been feeling good and having a hard time trying to figure out what's something she could eat. If you're, old timers would say you're peckish, you can't figure out what you might like to eat. And one of the things she's been wanting is baked potato. So I made her a baked potato today, and I think I made her one yesterday too. But so yesterday, I guess it was, I used the last one from her little garden that was big, you know, was a bigger potato. She's still got a little bit of small ones, but so maybe I'll take her some of those bigger ones, and she can be eaten. If she continues to be able to eat baked potatoes, she can do that. She just puts butter and salt on them, but she likes them. So now, Matt, are we ready to put the garden totally to bed if it does come a big frost tonight?
I think so.
I want to.
It's going to come a big frost tonight. I can
think
assure
so?
you. Yes.
Oh, if the wind don't lay, it ain't going to.
It'll lay this
You think
evening.
it's going to lay?
Yeah.
we do have, what I was going to say, our fall stuff still growing, but a frost won't hurt it. It'll be just fine, so we won't worry about it. It's sort of sad, but it's also interesting. If it does come a big frost, I like to come out the next morning and look at the stuff, like those nasturtiums I can see from right here will just be kind of melted, like they're melted. The spinach will be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else, I guess, out here will be. Any of the summer kind of stuff. The okry's already really suffering, though. It's not looked good in a week, because we have had cooler temperatures. No frost, but we've had cooler temperatures at night. So you're saying it's going to come a big freeze?
It will be white in the morning out here in the yard, in the backyard, yes.
Jack Frost is coming to visit?
Yep. Better put an extra dog on the bed tonight.
Extra blanket?
You ever heard that?
Yeah, I have heard that. Me and Matt have, talking about blankets. I have blankets I put on all during the summer, and then I have ones for winter, and I've not put the winter ones on yet. But year round, we have at the bottom of the bed, it's one of the best Christmas presents I ever got for Matt.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Is a wool blanket. And the best part is the sheep that the wool came from live just yon way, yeah. And I got it from Martha on, so if you're a local person, but this is back when I was working at the folk school, and it's a beautiful blanket. It was expensive, because it's hand wool. I mean, it's wool that come from here, like I said, yeah. Anyway, she sends them off to somewhere and they make them. I don't know that process. Anyway, it's beautiful. It's gray. It's got white stripes at the edges, each end.
And it is warm.
And she let me, I couldn't afford it really, but she let me put it on layaway, like with her, kind of layaway, and I paid her till I paid it off. And I give it to Matt that Christmas. I knew he'd just love it. Mm-hmm. And it's not left our bed since then. Nope. That's where it's been. And that's been, what, gosh, now I've been doing YouTube for 5 years, right? So
before that.
So 6 or 7 years, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how, I know why, I just don't know at what point I became enamored with wool, but I am.
Yeah.
I've got multiple wool blankets that I use. Not that one stays on the bed because it's too nice to, take in the woods or take outside or whatever, but I've got less expensive ones that I do that with, but wool shirts and wool, any kind of wool garment, wool clothing, wool gloves, socks. That's my favorite material is wool. When I was younger, and Gore-Tex was the big thing when it first got popular, and I was all about that because I didn't know any better at the time. Nothing, as far as I'm concerned, beats wool. Nothing. I mean, there's, and that can be debated. A lot of people don't think that way, and that's fine. But for my own self, wool, it can't be beat. The way it heats, the way it keeps you warm, it will somewhat warm when it's wet. I mean, it'll insulate when it's wet. It's quiet, and I just like it. And I now have wool pants and a heavy wool coat to hunt in. And
that was Christmas
last
year.
That was a Christmas present last year, and it was so late in the year I didn't really get to use them, but I'm beginning to use them some this season in the woods hunting, and it is so nice. Best stuff I've ever had in the woods, period. And I've really been enjoying it. And I'll be trying them out in the morning.
I was going to say, you'll be wearing them in the morning.
Yes.
When Matt become enamored, like he says, with wool, I don't remember how that started, but you did. I mean, you went through that spell, and that was like at the tail end when I bought him the blanket for Martha. But Miss Cindy and all of us would look for, I mean, you go to a thrift store, a lot of times you can find wool blankets for $2 or $3, really.
Yeah.
So she'd bring in some and say, this is kind of short, but maybe you'll use it, maybe it won't, or whatever, something, wool shirt or whatever it was for Matt. So she would keep an eye out.
I have a wool shirt that came from a thrift store. One of my favorite shirts. It's just a red and black checkered wool shirt, and it's fairly heavily worn, but I still wear it a lot because I like it. It's just the old rough wool too. It's real scratchy, and you could just about have to have something on under it. But I wore it for, I don't know, I think Corey, I found the shirt, and then she saw me looking at it. This was back when she was a young teenager, and she ended up getting it for me for Christmas. And I caught on to that's what she had in mind, so I was about to buy it, and I kind of figured maybe she wanted to get it for a Christmas present, and it was cheap enough. It was $3, and it was a Woolrich brand, which is a good brand in my estimation. And I still wear that shirt to this day, and it was basically worn out when we got it, or when I got it, when she bought it. And I've worn it, and then I took all the buttons off of it and sewed new buttons on it, and I still wear it.
That's your red and black one?
Yeah.
So y'all have probably seen him with it on.
Yeah. It's got the big ugly wooden buttons on the front of it. The only reason I used those is because that was all I could find in the button jar that was enough of the same button.
Yeah. After that, what was it Corey got you for Christmas? I don't remember if it was wool or not, because it was camouflage.
It was wool. It was a wool,
and it
just
was
a zip up, like just a light jacket, but it was fairly old because it was the old World War II camouflage pattern.
Yeah.
But it was wool, and I've still got it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit
too big.
little bit thicker than it is the problem. But yeah, I love that thing, and it's same kind of material, same thing. And I think she got it, she eBayed it or something, and it was much cheaper. And you can find that stuff, in the thrift stores and eBay, and just old stuff like that. That's, once again, the old stuff proves out to be, it just lasts and lasts and lasts. You how many times a day do you hear me say they don't make nothing like it used to? And I'm usually mad because something's junk that ain't working.
Yeah.
But it's the truth. That stuff, as long as you just marginally take care of it, it'll last.
Right.
And it's warm, and I'm all about that in the woods when it's cold. Anyway, I don't know how we went from taters to wool, but let's see if we can round it back towards the taters again.
Well, I got to say something though about that. Why I brought that one up is that on Christmas morning, of course, Corey knew Matt would be excited about it when he opened it. But she said, I thought you could wear it deer hunting. It would be warm, and plus it's camouflage. And Matt likes those older camouflage patterns anyway. But then Matt was looking at it, and then he all of a sudden said, well, somebody's already been deer hunting in it. And Corey's like, oh no, has it got something wrong with it? And you remember that? He's like, no, it's got a deer hair. So he held up the deer hair.
Yeah, it was stuck to the side of it, or out of the corner of the pocket of it, and it was just a big long white belly hair off a deer. And I thought, somebody's already had that in the woods.
Yeah. Which I would have never noticed, or if I did, I wouldn't have known it was a deer hair, but Matt did, of course. So that was funny. He said it's already broke in for deer hunting.
That's them old garments are really nice.
Yeah. Our blanket is for sure.
Absolutely. I love that thing. When it's cold enough, I look forward for weeks as it goes into fall. I look forward to knowing that a real cold night's coming, that we can pull that thing up over top of us, because it's usually just folded in half at the bottom of the bed.
Yeah.
But those nights when it's cold enough, I know I get to pull that thing up. I like it because I end up sleeping better somehow or another under that thing.
Matt and I leave a window open or partially open in our bedroom. We don't in the summer because it's too hot, but any of the cool, like since it's been in the 40s at night, that window's been open, and I think that makes you sleep better. But it also, like Matt said, even when it's really, really cold, that window's partially open, so then that's really when you pull that big blanket up and you got that cold air.
I don't mean to be telling tales out of school or nothing, but I've seen that window open and it in the teens at night.
Yeah.
And I definitely pull that blanket up right around the bottom of my chin when it's like that.
That's true. It's true. It's one of the exquisite things in life is
Yeah.
to snuggle in the bed when it's cold.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Yep.
One of the finer things in life, especially if you have a Martha Owen blanket.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad she let me lay it away, and
No,
that was probably the best thing I ever got, Matt.
it's a fantastic blanket. Oops.
I kicked the camera. Well, you said you wanted to bring it back to taters, so how you planning to eat any of them? You're going to be like Granny and eat some baked potatoes. The sweet potatoes, mostly that's what we do, is we just bake them. Now those little bitty skinny ones, I'll chop those, just scrub them and then slice them in little pieces and we'll roast them, which is kind of baked, I guess. But those bigger ones, we usually just bake them and then eat them with butter. That's our usual thing.
You know, I've kind of got since we've been digging them and talking about them, I've kind of got a hankering for some fried potatoes and some onions
Oh,
together.
that would be delicious.
I would just about go fire up the fish cooker and cook a pan of those.
Oh man, I hope you will.
That'd be good, wouldn't
That
it?
would be delicious, yes. Matt can make good fried taters. He really can.
I had some.
And that could just be a meal, just that. Now, I could make some cornbread to go with it, but
I had some a week or two ago when I was at deer camp with Daddy. We made a big pan of them. He
Yeah.
cooked them. They were good.
yeah. That sounds pretty good. Now, you may have boxed yourself in. You're probably about to go back hunting.
I don't know if I'm going to this evening or not.
'Cause it's windy.
I may take the evening off.
Okay. Matt's still hunting, but no luck.
I may go golfing this evening.
You ain't gonna go golfing.
Why not?
You just ain't. I can't imagine you golfing.
Well, everybody that golfs had to go the first time.
That's true. They did. Yeah. We actually have a friend who has his own golf court. Or golf course. Not a court. I don't get you call it a court.
Who's that?
Gerald.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. You could go with him and go.
He'd have to teach me because I ain't know nothing about it.
I'd say it'd be pretty fun just being went around them.
I'd be one of those that you see on TV, the YouTube videos of the people that can't play golf and they get mad and bang their clubs on the ground, throw them, and have to bleep everything they say. That'd probably be me.
I'd be the one that they think they really did good and then the ball's still there. They didn't even hit it. That would be me. Oh gosh, you know Uncle Henry used to love to golf. He golfed a lot, which it was weird. You know, even now I think, wow, he really, but he did. He liked to golf, so.
I have never golfed at all,
Me neither.
and probably am not going to.
That's why I said it was you golf. Yeah. But now fried tater sounds like something you could handle.
I could probably do that, yeah.
Well, we hope you enjoyed coming along with us today before the big frost, our first big frost. We'll let you know if it really come a frost or not, but Matt says it's going to.
It will.
I'm just saying the wind has to lay before it will.
It's got to lay sometime because it's been blowing since the first of the week and it ain't let up.
It has been raining and mizzling, that's what I called it.
It's been blowing. It's
And
been blowing since Monday.
Yeah, it's been blowing since Monday. So maybe it'll lay. Maybe we'll get a big frost. But we hope you enjoyed coming along with us. And I know you're like me. You're really hoping that a pan of fried taters is in my future. Now that Matt's brought it up. We're always glad when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia. I got my wish. Matt fulfilled his promise. He made some fried potatoes with onions, and that's all that's left. We've eaten them all. They were delicious.